We begin the 10 a.m. bulletin with breaking news. Room number 13, building number 17. Now, on the surface, this sounds like just another classroom block at the Al Falah University, but what unfolded inside that room wasn't academic. As per the latest details that our top sources have disclosed. According to our top sources, it was here that the blueprint of Delhi's deadly blast was quietly sketched, from operational planning to movement mapping as well. But what exactly went on in room number 13? Who all were present? And what have agencies now recovered from this room? Anushka's been tracking the latest developments for us. She joins us from the Al Falah University at the moment. Anushka, take us through all the latest.
That's right, we're outside the Al Falah University where yesterday a marathon investigation had in fact happened where several different teams had reached here to investigate this university, which is right now in question under the scanner because two of the people who have been detained, that is Shaheen and Muzammil Shakil, were here in the university from the past 3.5 years. We'll quickly show you the visuals also to get a sense of what the university looks like. It is outside the, inside a village in Faridabad. The village's name is Fatehpur Taga, that comes under Dhauj police station. Now, in this particular university, there is room number 13 in building number 17, which was where the conspiracy to carry out bomb blasts at several locations across Delhi and UP was hatched. The room number 13 belonged to Muzammil from Pulwama, and he used to hold meetings here with other terrorist doctors. It was decided in this room how certain chemicals from university labs would be taken out of the university and brought to Muzammil's room that he had taken on rent here. The police have sealed the room and recovered various devices and pen drives from here. Two faculty doctors at this campus, Umarun Nabi and Shahid, arranged chemicals from the college lab and transported them to Dhauj and Taga villages in Faridabad. Forensic teams have recovered some chemical substances and digital data from room 13 of building 17 and from the lab. Also, what we are getting to know is that two diaries of Umar have been in fact seized from here. In that diary, he used to mention all about the plan, and he had used the word operation multiple times in that particular diary, which has been seized and right now is in police custody as we are speaking. This is the very place where all that conspiracy was being hatched. We did see that yesterday the university had broke their silence on this particular incident that had in fact taken place. They had said that they were deeply anguished by the incident that took place at Chandni Chowk, but they have in fact also distanced themselves from this investigation. They had categorically denied that any kind of chemicals had been found. But what we are getting to know from our sources is that there was indeed a deep plan that was in fact going on inside room number 13. This is the very place where a joint operation was in fact done by Jammu Kashmir Police and Haryana Police after detaining both the resident doctors here. This building, which was in fact here for academic purpose, was in fact root of all the terror planning that was happening between the three people. We do know by now that Shaheen was responsible for gathering and trying to in fact make a whole this structure of terror plan, and all of them are said to have strong connections with Jaish-e-Mohammed, which is the banned terror outfit. This all began when Adil Rathar had started pasting posters of Jaish Ansar, who is the leader, leader of this whole group, and he has in fact multiple times in his preachings have said that he will be taking revenge for the Babri Masjid demolition. The plan revolves around December 6th, which is the day when the Babri Masjid was demolished, and that is where this planning began. And all these people were planning to hatch a deeper conspiracy where they were planning to orchestrate blast at different key locations all around North India. Over to you.
Anushka, just delving a little deeper into all the details you're reporting about. Who had access to this room? Are we aware? And for how long was it under the radar before the raids? Is there any system of any access logs or security footage from this building?
Well, what we are getting to know that all of the activities that were happening here were taking place in diaries. They were not using many technological devices because if they had used it, it would have been traced back easily. Now we are seeing that police have detained two diaries of Umar that they were using, and in that diary they were mentioning every detail of the operation that they were planning here. We do know that they were in fact trying to take the fertilizers from here, and they were trying to transport it to different parts of Fatehpur Taga and Dhauj Dodge. We will show you the visuals also quickly. This is the very university inside which there is room number 13 in the building number 17, where this whole plan was being hatched. According to Delhi police officials, the accused in the Red Fort blast, Muzammil, Adil, Umar and Shaheen, together collected about 2 lakh rupees in cash, which was handed over to Umar. Later, they brought more than 20 quintals of NPK fertilizers for 3 lakh rupees to prepare IEDs in Noor, like Umar's I-20 car. 3 other cars were to be prepared with explosives. Haryana police sources have said that these doctors hiding behind the medical professions were running a large-scale bomb blast conspiracy, not only in Delhi but Ayodhya, Prayagraj and several other places that were being targeted. 8 terrorists were organized into 2 groups, and they were in fact also using second-hand old cars that were arranged for blast at every site. Besides Umar, I-20 and Red EcoSport, 2 more cars were to be converted into explosive-laden vehicle. If the Jammu Kashmir police had not exposed this university and the doctors' conspiracy, simultaneous blasts across different parts of country had been planned. The code word for explosives was shipment and packages. They were also using code words for different other stuff. Sources have said that the terrorists communicated with foreign handlers via encrypted routes and also received orders from them. Not just that, they were also planning to orchestrate a blast in not just Delhi but also Haryana, Faridabad. We do know that Adil Rathore was arrested from Saharanpur, and in Saharanpur and also Hapur was the places where Shahina was trying to make a whole regiment of the Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorists. But we do know that they were also in touch with their foreign handlers. This is now a trans-border operation that was in fact hatched, that was in fact also tracked down by the Faridabad police and also Jammu Kashmir police in the joint operation. We'll also show you the visuals of this whole area, the Fatehpur Taga village, and what this village looks like, so that the viewers can get a sense of how this university was exactly being used, because this is a very low-key place at the outskirts of Faridabad, inside a village that is Fatehpur Taga village. This comes under Dodge police station, and you can clearly see in the visuals that this is a very secluded place, surrounded by agricultural lands and farms around in acres. This is the place from a few kilometers from here where Muzammil Shakil had taken the rented accommodation, and he had given a rent of 2,400 rupees. He had said that his 3 Kashmiri friends will be there to collect the belongings that he had kept there. And after a few days, the police officials came there and seized explosives for 2,900 kilograms. Such massive packages of suspected ammonium nitrates, also 20 timers and several contrabands were found at that particular place, the room that Muzammil had taken on rent. This is the Al Falah University. We did see that yesterday the university broke silence on this incident. They have accepted that 2 of their faculty members have been detained, that is Shaheen and also Muzammil Shakil. They have distanced themselves from this whole incident. They have said that they had no idea that this was happening, and the university's assets were not being used to plan any kind of terror activity. But what we are getting to know from agencies is that there was indeed a room where Muzammil Shakil had the access. That room belonged to Muzammil Shakil. The access was for Umar and also Shaheen, who were trying to transport all those fertilizers in different parts of Nuh, and also in Faridabad and Fatehpur Taga village. Barely meters from here are 2 different places that they had taken the rented accommodation where they were keeping explosives. And also, after listening to all of this, after piecing together all the information that we are getting, it seems like there was a plan B that was kept in place, that if any of the accomplices will be caught, they will be orchestrating the attack. And we did see that after hearing that his 2 accomplices have been detained, Omar ran from here, and then he took different hideout locations. He went to a dhaba, and after that he took the rented I-20 car and did a recce of several key areas in Delhi, including Mayur Vihar, including Connaught Place and Sunehri Masjid, after which he came to Chandni Chowk. He parked his car for 3 hours there. He did not get out of the car within the 3 hours that the car was in fact parked inside the parking lot. And after that, around 6 a.m., which is the peak traffic time at Chandni Chowk, remember this is a season of weddings and many people are at Chandni Chowk right now to buy
buy stuffs, to buy all of that, stuff from the market, because Chandni Chowk is a big market where not just domestic but also international people come here to visit the iconic heritage site. Now at 6 p.m. in the evening, 6:19 is the exact time when the blast happened. We have access of the visuals of the blast. We have the CCTV footage that clearly shows the impact of the blast. Today we are also getting to know that one piece of arm has been seen at the Chandni Chowk area blast, where the blast took place, and 9 people have lost their lives and more than 20 people are injured in this incident so far. Over to you.